Hello, one. Hello, all. Welcome to the March 15th through 17th edition of Show Business. I am CP of YouTube fame, Willie Screedia.
And I am Dino of the Late Late Horror Show channel here on YouTube.
And I'm Lindsay of My Two Cents of Nonsense, and I'm not sick anymore. Yay!
Yay! You sound a little bit closer to normal.
Not as congested.
Yeah. So, if you've been on YouTube at all in the last, I want to say 3 months, but the last week, you would think that Disney is a house of fire.
Yikes.
With the clickbait reporting for
House
Captain
of Sand
Marvel.
and Fire? That movie's called, right?
So Captain Marvel, shockingly, came in first over the course of the weekend and pulled in. The number on the YouTube site is actually wrong. The estimates were for 69 last week, or this past weekend, but the number is actually 68 million and change. Still,
we rounded up, is what we did.
Yeah. I just wanted to type 69 in there. So, oh wait, this is the pre-show. 69 for a 55.7% drop-off, which Lindsay has some fun information about in a minute. Second place was Wonder Park. Third place was 5 Feet Apart. Fourth place was How to Train Your Dragon 3. And rounding out the top 5 was Medea's Family Funeral, whatever.
Smooch.
Why do I always forget that title?
It's the family fun times at the funeral house with completely appropriate jokes that don't demean the dead and people and humanity.
And look at those numbers. This week is going to be interesting. So.
Oh, and I love the fact that the top news thing is James Gunn returns the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because James Gunn returns the Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah, that was news like right after we went, right after we did our show Monday. So
well, Disney timed that obviously. Like, okay, let's let show business get behind the curve, then we'll announce it. Fuck those guys over, so they have to be a week behind.
No.
Oh,
that's our one. That's our one with PG-13.
And it was worth it. It was Disney.
And true. And technically, they've come out with their list of the next 7 Marvel movies.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, drop that knowledge on us, Dino.
You want me to right now?
Sure.
Please do.
Okay, well, let me get back here. Let's see. There are now 7 MCU movies planned after Avengers Endgame, and which consists of Spider-Man: Far From Home. I think we know that. Black Widow, The Eternals, Black Panther 2, Doctor Strange 2, The Hands of Shang-Chi, Asian character. So there you go. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and there you go. So why they had to announce the next 7 in a row, I have no idea. But Brie Larson, you did it again this week, girl.
Oh,
so, yeah, it's all her.
Oh, it's all
her. Nothing to do with Disney.
The movie. I mean, again, we've talked about this last week, though. It's an average movie, but the hype continues. This Marvel bulldozer that's just crashing down everything. It's like a little ridiculous for me, but hey.
So something I reported on Friday, and comically, please check the comment section of my 71% clickbait video. A lot of YouTubers were making, a lot of daily content clickbait creators.
Algorithm.
Sure. People that are playing that
Algorites.
the folks that are playing that YouTube game well. Just making.
My hat off to them. I wish I could. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. My hat off to them. I wish they did better stuff. But hey, if you can do it daily, there's a certain amount of respect.
There's There's a certain amount of self-respect and dignity that I just have and cannot put myself to do. But
every now and then.
My report every now and then. Yeah.
Also, I get bad ideas for videos all the time.
Yeah.
Like
I don't follow through on them.
Yeah, exactly. Because after I think about it for 5 minutes, I'm like, no, that's a bad idea. Which is the difference between me and Logan Paul, Watch Mojo. And
Logan
also subscriber counts. Like,
lumping Logan Paul into this. Jeez.
They're the exact same thing. Watch Mojo, Logan Paul. I'm telling you, man.
I'm not referring those. I'm referring these guys that have these clickbait thumbnails and making a fuss over the Sunday to Monday number was a 71% drop off from Sunday to Monday. Captain Marvel dropped 71%.
That's a big number.
It is a big number, but the problem is that's normal.
Yeah.
People aren't off on Monday. People have work and jobs, and they also have work and jobs on Tuesdays. So Monday is probably the least strong day of the week.
As someone who has worked in restaurants for 10 years, Monday is the slowest day of the week.
Yeah.
For any kind of going out anything.
Yeah, any sort
of
is. Out anything. Yeah, you're recouping from the weekend, and you're just staying in for that night.
Right.
But the hair on fire reporting that 71% drop off from Sunday to Monday on a non-holiday week, you would think that they were accurate with what they were talking about, but it's not true. That's normal. That's completely normal. I think. I looked into it, and Black Panther on its first non-holiday Monday dropped, I think, 80% or something. So, yeah, the numbers are just like, I get it.
I'm so disturbed by it, though. I'm just saying.
You got to make that paper, but at the same time, like, yeah, sure. Is it low for this Marvel machine? Sure, but Marvel. We're coming up on $1 billion for this property.
Already.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
That's not normal. Like, that isn't. Like, these people expect every piece of, pop culture property to cross 2 billion, and it's just, guys, there's a handful of movies that have crossed 2 billion. So relax.
It's only like 5, or is it 6 now?
It's a handful.
I'll look that up in a moment. That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
But how quickly did Force Awakens get to $1 billion?
$1 billion pretty quickly.
No, actually, I mean, so domestically it didn't. Domestically, it never hit $1 billion.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's interesting. I'm trying to see like who got to $1 billion faster, Captain Marvel or this stuff, yeah, Force Awakens never hit $1 billion domestically. That's interesting.
I think Captain Marvel's like 780.
Yeah. It's not at $1 billion yet, but it will be by the time we speak next week.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. I'll see if I can find out the fastest or how many $1 billion there are so far. But in the meantime, I have lots of numbers about how it's precisely, and so do you, Supi, about how precisely Captain Marvel ranks among all the MCU stuff.
Yes, educate the audience, please.
With its 55.7% second week drop off, it is actually performing above average because the average.
No, it's not. Clickbait. No, it's
not. Well, it's for the weekends. CP educated me because CP is very good at this. Oh, now we're up rated R. Thanks, CP. No, not for the finger, for the pizza. During the week, it performed worse than this. But for the week, this second weekend versus its first weekend, it's a 55.7 drop off, which is above average for the 55.5, and makes it the second. Captain Marvel had the 7th best opening weekend of just any Marvel movie, the second best for an origin story, 3rd or 4th best depending on what you classify as a standalone movie, and 8th best for the second week drop off. So yeah, to all y'all out there that are saying it's not doing good, suck it.
Yeah. It's one thing to say whether or not this movie's good or bad. That is irrelevant.
That's a debate worth having. I've been having it at work every day with new people as they go and see the movie.
And for the most part, we're here to talk about the numbers. And when people talk about the numbers, like they're this tragedy, it's just not true, because that average number, Lindsay, that you talked about, 55.5%. Big movie that came out last year was exactly to that number, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, to the penny almost.
And it was Avengers: Infinity War, right?
I noticed it wasn't high on the list of any of those, though. I mean, it was pretty average. So yeah, and anybody listening out there, podcast land, we do this live every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and so we now and then talk about the chat. And somebody sent a super chat. Believe in the hype, $2.
Thank you, sir.
He asks us, what will make more, Pet Sematary, Child's Play, or Us? If you want to answer that yet, I don't know, but yeah.
It's
Honestly,
going to be.
I just gonna go Us. Just
I
writing the Get Out, like, right?
Wait,
You know,
we're talking total opening weekend. Total. What are we talking about?
it says what will make more, Pet Sematary, Child's Play, or Us. So I think it's total.
I think
So,
Us.
Yeah, believe in a hype. Just,
domestically, Us. Worldwide, I kind of want to say Child's Play for some reason.
I agree. It's also coming out in June too, which isn't really fair to the other two.
That's true, actually. Yeah. Okay. That's that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So domestically, Us. Internationally, the toy doll Skynet movie.
Yeah, we'll get to Us in a little bit, but if hype is anything for that movie, it'll make money.
Oh! Before we get away from Marvel, I did one more fun thing. What do you guys think are the top 5 second weekend for Marvel movies, and what do you think are the worst 5 second weekend for Marvel movies?
Well, I know Black Panther's the top.
Yes, number 1. Yeah.
Right.
With a good percentage, I think, actually.
I think it was 41, wasn't it?
No, it's 44.7, but then second place is 47.2. And what do you think? You'll never guess this. It's Thor. It's Thor.
Okay,
Really?
that's what I was going to say.
Thor.
Okay.
Really, you were going to guess Thor?
I was going to. Yes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then I'm thinking Captain America, Winter Soldier?
No, Iron Man.
Oh, okay.
And fourth is another weird one, Doctor Strange.
What's the percentage on that?
49.5.
Okay.
That's pretty good. And then fifth is Civil War. No. Oh, no, Civil War is fifth worst. Sorry, fifth is Avengers. But Civil War is the fifth worst. Yes, that's
what's the drop off for Civil War?
59.5.
Okay.
And the absolute worst was the Civil War. But and then Hulk, 60.1.
Mm-hmm.
And Ant-Man was 61.6.
The original?
Wait. Yeah.
You're going right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The higher the percentage, the bigger the drop off.
Right. And then Captain America: First Avenger, 60.7.
That's the highest drop off?
Oh no. The highest drop off was the Civil War with 15. Oh wait, no, it's not. Hold on.
What?
Wait.
Hey, you're supposed to be a math boy, and you're
what's
totally...
going on here, Lindsay?
Hold on. I mislabeled something. The worst one is it's Spider-Man: Homecoming. There it is, 62.2.
Okay.
That's why it was throwing me off, because I just said worst. I didn't say worst one. I just put worst next to it. So 62.2 is the worst second weekend drop off.
I can go with that.
Yeah, when you consider what they pull in an opening weekend too, it's not that offensive.
Yeah, no, it still did amazing.
Yeah,
movies would kill to have that drop off.
Right. The speculation and the hyperbole, if you will, behind all this stuff is ridiculous. I looked.
Hyperbole.
What's that?
Hyperbole.
Yeah. Oh.
Boom. Okay.
That's pretty good, actually. Respect, sir.
I looked outside of Marvel, and there's this little movie that came out in 2008.
Don't do that.
Perhaps, arguably, the best comic book movie of all time.
Terminator Salvation.
Oh my.
The Dark Knight had a 52.5 drop off in its second weekend, and nobody's crying about that. No. Another one was Deadpool, which is probably closer because that was a February release.
And kind of a riskier thing than The Dark Knight, you know.
Right, yeah. 57.4%. And similar numbers altogether because it made 132 in its opening weekend, and then dropped to 56. Captain Marvel 153 to 68. I followed up on Deadpool, and Deadpool dropped 44.9% for its third weekend. So that's the intriguing.
Yeah,
that's some legs.
Yeah.
It's apples and oranges, though. I mean, after that first weekend, everything's pretty much going to drop off pretty significantly. It's just the norm.
Also, February. It'll be really interesting this weekend. I don't know how much of mainstream non-horror fans are into Us, but I'm really intrigued to see what kind of dent that puts in the Captain Marvel process.
Yeah, I had a pretty bad nightmare last night about this whole situation going on with us and Captain Marvel. Like, who's going to overtake who, you know? I mean...
You had a nightmare about it?
Yeah, I was sweating pretty bad last night, so...
Okay.
So another interesting question in the chat.
Guys. Yeah.
No, I did not to. I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your talk. Believe the Hype once again asked, what movie stayed #1 the longest? The answer is Black Panther at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weekends, and in second place is, or I guess a lot of movies are probably tied in second place. Infinity War with 3, and then the original Avengers also had 3.
Do you know how rare it is for a movie to be in first place 5 weeks in a row in today's day and age?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, that's a big feat.
Yeah.
A month and a week, what the highest grossing movie recently is Force Awakens, and I don't think that was in first for even a month.
Well, again, Black Panther was a historical event, let's say. Okay.
I thought you were going to say historical picture first.
in pop culture world, it's you know.
Sure.
50 years from now, it'll be in the history books.
All right, Dino.
Okay, go ahead.
Save that for later.
Whoa.
Okay, go ahead.
Wait, no. Okay. Force Awakens was 4 weeks. For a second, I thought it was only 2 weeks, but then I saw this other. No, it's 4 weeks.
Yeah, and that's what, 2.4 billion gross worldwide.
2,068 million. So 2.066.
Okay. And yeah, the last time we had a juggernaut like that, I think, was Avatar, which was the previous, monster. So it's abnormal. It's not a common thing for a movie to just steamroll like that.
Yeah.
So credit due. I don't think Captain Marvel will. If it doesn't win this weekend, I don't think it'll last past this weekend.
I mean, yeah. That's probably actually pretty fair.
I mean, yeah. It's not a slam dunk for either Captain Marvel or us this weekend, which is the first time I think this year that we've had something this big as far as competition for first is concerned.
Right. Yeah, I have ideas on what's going to happen in that first place slot, but bye Captain Marvel. But anyways.
Oh really? Dino, is that Dino for I think us is going to take first this week?
Pretty much, yeah. I'll put it out there. Yeah, definitely. Okay. I think all the hype behind what Jordan Peele right now is doing, and everything, that whole Jordan Peele universe that's happening right now with Twilight Zone and everything else he's got going on, and only being his second movie. I mean, that's the crazy thing.
Crazy's the optimal word there. Yeah.
Right. But I really think there is something to it. So
put a pin in that for a second, Dino. While you're on it, Lindsay, can you get me the Get Out numbers?
Yes. Also, fun fact: J.J. Abrams' movies have pulled about $1.7 billion at the box office worldwide.
Well, there's a fun fact right there.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So Get Out box office info.
So to just kind of wrap up the relax about the Captain Marvel talk, I'll tell you about a real Disney disaster that didn't do well, and should have had all this hype, and it was John Carter, which total domestic take.
Wait, John Carpenter, I love that guy. He makes such good horror movies. Oh, you mean that movie that should have had
Let's
Mars
not go there.
John Carter of Mars should have been that title. Really, you know what? Decent movie. Again, I'll put it on the scale of Captain Marvel. Not great, not horrible. Probably deserved to make a couple $100 million.
Speaking of John Carter, Dune starts shooting this week. So go ahead.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dune and John they're both on desert areas. So John Carter gross domestic was $73 million. That considering what Disney put into it, that was a disaster. Captain Marvel made $68 million this weekend.
Right. Mm.
What do you got there, Lindsay? I see you making googly eyes.
Get Out had a 15.4% drop in the box office second weekend.
What are the numbers? What's the millions?
So it went from 33 million to 28.
And that's what, January?
That's February 24th to March 5th. So the February 24th to 26th was opening. March 3rd to 5th was the second. So now that I know that Get Out only had a 15.4% drop off, now I'm curious, what's the best second weekend drop off ever? I'm very curious.
So Get Out wasn't. Get Out. You know, that's another rarity today is word of mouth.
Right.
That those numbers aren't as strong as I thought they would be. That probably is more of a longevity movie than it is a heavy hitter.
Oh, I think Us is going to hit us hard here the first week, and I think the longevity is going to be there too, because something tells me, I mean, this is really going to be different and a really good film. A really good film. So.
Well, nice that you say that, Dino, because the critics, the scores and everything, they're starting to leak out. And Us currently, as we record this, is
100%.
100%, 55 reviews on Rotten Tomato.
Yep.
They're using a quote where one of those people that saw the film said it's the greatest horror movie of all time.
Wow.
I've seen that in a few spots, which is interesting.
Yeah. Again, I'll go back to hyperbole. I mean, I saw Seven Samurai for the first time, and I made sure to use the word quite all right. And that was an understatement of mass proportions. I think when people throw greatest, worst out there, it really is dangerous.
In what way? Like what do you mean by that?
I don't know. Like when you say something's either the greatest or worst of all time, I think there needs to be some time behind it. Like,
oh yeah,
of course, yeah.
Like survives the test of time a little bit, or doesn't.
Well, you see that with the Academy every year when movies like Shakespeare in Love win over something like Saving Private Ryan.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Who the fuck remembers Shakespeare in Love? Saving Private Ryan is what? Oh,
that's your second F-bomb, sir.
Okay, I'm in timeout. I'm sorry. I apologize to our underage listeners. That's on me. But no. Yeah, it's you. I mean, then Crash winning over, what was it, Brokeback Mountain? Who talks about Crash anymore except in a negative light? And Brokeback Mountain was kind of a monumental, but for the time it was important.
Yeah, 94 gets a lot of attention for insert a different movie here that wasn't Forrest Gump. It's Shawshank, Pulp Fiction. There's a bunch of movies in 94. 99 was pretty strong too.
Well, Forrest, I will say, whatever it's called, Forrest Gump, actually, it's had a pretty good hold on the zeitgeist.
Sure.
It's lasted, it's not Pulp Fiction.
Is it the best film of 94?
No. But I'm saying it's held on better than some of these other movies.
No, you're right. You're right.
Well, I mean, again, we're going to get this big to do when we get maybe like Black Panther when the hands of Shang-Chi come out and Marvel starts pushing that movie.
What are you talking about?
Crazy Rich Asians. I mean, that exploded. So
oh my god! I hope it's called Crazy Rich Shang-Chi.
Are you talking about the Chinese market? Is that what you're talking about, Dino?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I have no knowledge of whatever you just said.
Okay, we'll skip that.
It's a Marvel movie. What is it?
Yeah, it's a Marvel movie.
I guess it's the movie version of Iron Fist, maybe, possibly.
Oh, really?
I mean, I hope it's better than Iron Fist. I never heard of the Shang-Chi character before they started talking about this movie. Now I am hearing a lot of talk about this character, though. So it feels like it's going to be the next, I don't know, Iron Man or Captain Marvel or something like that, where it's like it wasn't really that known, and then the movie comes out, and now it's like, oh, this guy's awesome.
Yeah, I can't say that I know the character from the comic books at all.
Right.
But
I literally had never heard of it.
And Lindsay, you're, we don't have Peter with us right now, but you're the resident comic.
But I was always the second place behind Peter, and I've never heard of this character before.
That's frightening.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about frightening.
Frightening. I'm scared.
I mean, maybe Disney was sitting around and they're like, okay, guys, Shang-Chi, Squirrel Girl. Shang-Chi, Squirrel Girl.
It's all about getting the market, and they know it's big right now, and the overseas and the Chinese market is really eating up these Marvel movies. But anyways,
Yeah. To sidestep, staying on the comic news, there something that we sort of reported first a couple of months ago, and my thanks to my inside track there. But Guardians of the Galaxy 3 has re-brought James Gunn back in. If you go back to right after him getting fired or released or whatever, we had reports, unverified, of course, that they were going to bring him back.
Well, technically, we heard through the grapevine. You know, there's people speaking in our ears. But go ahead.
To be fair, I heard.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Grapevines.
What's that, Lindsay?
I've got a couple of grapevines that have been telling me for a minute that he was coming back.
There you go.
Yeah. And immediately afterwards, I don't remember which episode it was. If it was the week or 2 weeks after he got fired, we pseudo reported it here that don't believe that they're going to follow through with that. And sure enough, I'm going to say you heard it here first. Clickbait. You heard it here first. James
For sure. For all your breaking box office news, come to show business every Monday night. So
your box office HQ, your BOHQ.
Yeah.
For the record, we'll get to it eventually. I've got a lot of. I'm not sure how much the public will ever hear about some of this news on Wonder Park.
Oh, go ahead, Lindsay.
Is this now the time to do that? Yeah. You should say nobody saw a movie this weekend.
Yeah, we didn't see anything.
My car was in the shop. I was sick. I don't know what CP's excuse is.
I arranged my sock drawer. I don't know. I have no excuse.
I looked at all the new movies and I said, nah. But go ahead.
It's also a fair assessment. So Wonder Park is a kids movie that came out this last weekend. That every time I saw the trailer, I cringed. Not like my whole body got tense watching these weird failed jokes with this bad animation. What is this story? What drugs were people on when they wrote this? And it turns out it's this year's Monster Truck. The idea came from the child of someone who's a high up at Nickelodeon, I believe. And this movie is to promote the fact that there is going to be a TV show, I guess, called Wonder Park on Nickelodeon. So that's why the animation's kind of crappy, because if it's like big and flashy, then the show has to be big and flashy. So the movie looks crappy so that there's no discrepancy in the animation between the show and the movie. And the director got fired a year ago because he sexually harassed people that were working on the movie.
A bunch of cartoon characters?
And they didn't replace him, right?
They did not. I mean, there's no one officially credited as director. Yeah, there's no one officially credited as director. And you watch Pixar movies, they sometimes have like 3 or 4 directors. So director is a different word in the animation world than it is in the live action world, but it's still an important job.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to see that movie as soon as I can because it sounds amazing. But it's also probably the biggest shit show of the year.
Yikes.
Really?
I would love for you to come back and say...
Go ahead.
I would love to see you come back and say, this movie was so great. It was a fun time.
Yeah.
So, well, apparently it's also about a kid getting over their parent dying from cancer. Spoilers, I guess. So it's incredibly depressing in addition to just being, what the fuck is this?
That's 3!
Oh.
Lindsay.
His mouth.
I expect it from me.
And me.
Yeah.
The more I do it, though, CP, now you can't do it. I'm forcing you to censor yourself.
Swings the pendulum. We got in the YouTube chat. We got a super chat. Believe in the hype. Thank you. Will Endgame make more money than any movie this year out of any comic book movie? Black Panther's pretty high, right? Right, Lindsay, as far as any comic movie?
Yeah, let's find out any highest grossing comic book movies ever. That is a good question, sir.
But yeah, I think for 2019, I think Avengers Endgame probably will be the movie to beat. Gosh. At least worldwide.
Oh, what a sad thing to say, but I don't yes.
This article is
I know.
On Endgame?
Last year.
On Endgame? What?
Yeah. Do you think Endgame will make more money than any other movie? Do you think it'll be the highest grossing this year?
This year?
No.
I mean,
2020.
no. Well, I mean, that's, God, that's a tough question.
Well, if it's that tough, what do you think's going to be the number one?
That's what I'm thinking here. What do we got coming out in the summer, really? I mean.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Yeah. Never mind the summer. We have this space movie in December.
Oh, yeah, the Star Battle.
Trek Wars or something?
Trek Wars, yeah, there you go. I do have the highest comic book adaptation box offices ever, by the at least for the domestic. Worldwide seems tricky. I'm not finding it.
Okay.
But domestically, yes, it's Black Panther with 700,000. Next is Infinity War with 678. So they're very close together.
You mean million, not thousand.
No, it's actually it's thousands. Apparently, there's this new thing that just came out. Movie studios inflating box office, and movies not making as much as.
Oh, jeez.
So third place is Avengers, and then Dark Knight. So at fourth place, you get to DC finally, and then it's back to Avengers, and then it's back to Batman, but then it's Wonder Woman, but then it's back to Marvel for a while, like a good long while. So, but yeah. So in the top 5 highest grossing comic book adaptations, all of them are over $450 million at the domestic, and 4 out of 5 of them are Marvel.
I might agree with Slipcover King in the chat, too. I predict Star Wars 9 will make less than both Last Jedi and Force Awakens.
It's an easy prediction to make from this far out without any footage. I mean, right. Honestly, it's not Solo. It is JJ, and apparently they're trying to
fix things,
address things that people had problems with. Yeah. If it's even if it's remotely close to being just safe.
True. Yeah.
Both of those movies made $2 billion worldwide. So the
Last Jedi did cross 2 billion
worldwide. I think it did.
Yeah.
Let's find out. No, domestically it did, but worldwide it only made 5 million. 5 million. No, 1.3 billion worldwide.
Last Jedi.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, all right. What am I thinking of? That's close to it then.
Actually, yeah, I forgot to look up movies that have crossed $1 billion. I'll look that up right now. Movies.
All right, so 1.3 billion is way less than 2 billion.
So yeah,
I mean that's still pretty good.
No, we get lost in this whole it didn't make $1 billion.
Yeah, right. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I'm not sure about the Endgame really, if it's going to be the biggest of the year, but
I mean they're both movies that wrap up a storyline. Yeah. So
maybe a battle between those two movies.
It's either or. It's Endgame or Star Wars. It again, without seeing an ounce of footage, without seeing a screen.
I mean, you don't think the Avengers coming up here in the summer is gonna get anywhere near what Captain Marvel's doing here? So no.
Get anywhere near it?
I think it's definitely gonna
or take over.
It's gonna clear it. No? Absolutely.
Okay, so maybe that's the biggest of the year.
It'll I don't know.
The conversation, absolutely.
It's going to be between Star Wars and Infinity War.
Yeah.
And us, but us is.
We're not making a movie this year, Lindsay.
I know. By the way, only 4 movies have made $2 billion.
And they are.
Titanic, Avatar, or in order: Avatar, Titanic, Force Awakens, Infinity War.
Wow.
Avatar almost made $3 billion. I did not know that. 2.7.
No wonder
2.78.
Dedicating his life to it. So there you go.
Right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Believe in the hype in the chat. Thank you. How do they factor in DVD Blu-ray sales? Well, that stat I have. The highest grossing Blu-ray from 2018 was Star Wars: The Last Jedi, not
franchise dead.
Yeah, again, clickbait your ass off, but last year the home media king was Last Jedi, not Black Panther, not Infinity War. So people, I don't know, maybe they bought it to hate fuck it, but you see, now you got me saying. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? People spend money, and it's Star Wars. Again, let me see a teaser before I genuinely say one thing or another.
By the way, the remake The Last Jedi has not had any more money pledged to it since last time.
Son of a yes.
Money pledge? Man, if I had $3 billion, I would pledge $2.8 billion just so you guys could redo this movie. But too bad you're not remaking it.
Don't kill their dreams, CP. Come on.
Yeah. So what's funny is it would be considered a fan film, and fan films cannot be made for more than $50,000. So yeah. It's just comical. Like, again, it's all surface value, clickbait, hyperbole, you name it. But if you just do a little bit of homework, this stuff is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, James Gunn coming back to Guardians 3.
Woo!
On top of Suicide Squad, which I read something. I'm not sure if it's a fact or what. It was something I read in passing that apparently Suicide Squad 2 is going to be a straight redo.
Really?
I don't listen. Don't quote me. I don't. For as much as I say hyperbole and whatever, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the source.
Well, I mean, I guess new Deadpool, new Batman, new Rick Flag, because obviously they need to establish who the new Rick Flag is. He's such an important character. Is Margot Robbie still involved for Harley Quinn? I haven't heard anything about that.
I don't know. See, I thought she was out, but Peter a couple weeks ago said that she wasn't. Or maybe I'm thinking of what's that all girls movie?
Nightwings or something like that.
Ghostbusters? Oh. For what it's worth, and people can look at it after Endgame, Instagram trailer drops, big clue about Ant-Man's return. So just, do a search if you're interested.
That's another thing that we had news on too.
Yeah.
So wait, I'm going to do it now so that, okay. when it happens, you heard it here first. Apparently, Ant-Man's the glue to all of this.
Oh, really?
Spoiler. Spoiler. And yeah, so you heard it here first.
There you go.
Spoiler warning. Ant-Man, the glue to all this. When it happens in 2 months, come back and say.
I mean, I guess he could crawl inside like Thanos' ear and like just get big, and then it's over.
No. The key to getting everything back.
No. All right. Sure.
Yeah.
So apparently those white suits are where is Ant-Man currently? As we left him in Ant-Man the Wasp, the Nether Realm, or what is that shit called?
The Quantum Realm.
Quantum Realm. Yeah. So apparently those white suits are for going into the Quantum Realm. So
okay.
So yeah, you heard it here first.
By the way, Warner Brothers CEO resigns amid claims that he promised roles in exchange for sex.
Wow, really? That's interesting that would happen in Hollywood. What?
He told me that... Oh, wait.
He said he promised me.
He said I'd look good in a Kangol hat.
Yeah. Not at all shocking.
No.
I mean, definitely not. But
shocking that he stepped down, though.
Yeah.
Well,
interesting. Not fight. No, that means they must have a lot of proof.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But that's some wave of change. I won. Ooh. Because this is probably the guy that probably greenlit a lot of the snafus and misfires of the DCEU.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if this was like, hey man, just step down. You've made a lot of mistakes. We've got proof of this. Like,
yeah. Well,
that's entirely tinfoil hat. Like,
let me sidestep for a second and just go back to James Gunn. Do you think that with him doing something for DC, that maybe Disney got a little nervous? Just like a little nervous that if he's responsible for rebounding making Suicide Squad, the best answer to what Marvel has going. Mm-hmm. Do you think they'd be nervous?
I mean, yeah, it's entirely possible. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. From what I understand of James Gunn being fired, the only reason he was fired is because whoever the top brass at Disney right now, I can never remember. Is it Bob Iger? Is it the other guy? Who's the top? Whatever. Just whoever the top head honcho is was super old. Doesn't know the difference between like a tweet and actual news, and saw a tweet saying that James Gunn did a thing during all the Me Too stuff, and he pulled the trigger and fired him without a meeting, just on the spot, without stopping to consider or ask anybody. So that's why that's another reason why they're backpedaling this. So they and why they waited so long to do it. At least what I'm hearing, or at least partially maybe. Because they don't want to be embarrassed about the fact that the person who's running their company doesn't know the difference between like actual news and a tweet.
True, I believe it.
They honestly, Disney felt like they got caught with their pants down and they're embarrassed.
Yeah, this impulse to react is a little too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too much.
Again, not to defend the thing, he did say some pretty fucked up jokes. They were, but
that's 4.
Whatever. Oh, okay. That was 4. He said some pretty poopy pants jokes. But he's grown, he's apologized, and Disney knew about this when they hired him, so who cares? Like, it's not like Disney didn't know about this when they hired him.
Yeah, so, again, one of my grapevines, apparently the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy were pushing for him to come back.
Well, what's his name has been super vocal about that, Drax.
Publicly?
Yeah, on Twitter.
Okay.
He's been.
Okay.
I mean, he's been saying. I mean,
that's what I was talking about. I was talking about that. That's what I was exactly what I was talking about.
Oh, that's so funny.
No.
Hey, they can talk, but it's gonna go the way of the higher ups, no matter what. So if they want him gone or this person gone, they're gone.
I'm just intrigued to see how much of him moving ahead with DC and getting some genuine actors in that movie.
Yeah.
If that has anything to do with maybe they trembled a little bit and was like, all right, you know what? Tweets aren't that big a deal.
Also, Brightburn looks amazing.
Oh, did he write that?
He produced it, and apparently there's a third Gunn brother. I think the third Gunn brother wrote it as James produced it. So there's Sean Gunn, who's got a bit part in the Guardians movies. There's James Gunn, and there's the third Gunn, whose name I'm forgetting right now. Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Gunn, yeah.
I hope. That would just be so good.
Believe in the hype in the chat. Thank you. What actor was in the most grossed movies? I think you mean what actors made the most at the box office? I think it's Will Smith.
No.
Harrison Ford.
Isn't it Sam Jackson?
Oh, Sam Jackson. That's not fair.
How is that not fair?
Yeah, because he's got. Yeah, no. He's how many CUs is he a part of? Yeah, that. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. Here it is. Mark Gunn is the third Gunn. He wrote Brightburn as James Gunn produced it.
Okay.
The director is David Yakarski. But anyway, go ahead.
I'd be curious what else he's written. He's a Gunn, but has he written anything else good? So. Yeah.
Journey to the Center of the Earth. Too.
There you go.
We'll see. Not even. Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh. He said, "Get over here, little brother. We'll get you in."
Whoa, bring it on again. The reboot of the Starsky and Hutch TV series that's been announced. Oh, and that's it. Okay, so not much.
Yeah, I'm not going to say much about that. I mean, come on. Jordan Peele started off on a comedy channel, so, anything can happen.
Peele made Get Out with his first movie.
It's true.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, okay.
Won an Oscar.
Bring It On Again, isn't that, or whatever. Yeah.
Hey, remember he also was in the Keanu movie.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't direct that. He wrote it, but yeah.
Yeah, which was still okay.
I like that movie. Yeah, I really like that movie.
Is there a Billy Gunn?
Greatest comedy in the history of ever.
Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn. That's a wrestler.
I'm
an ass man.
Pet Sematary.
Yes, thank you, Dino.
You're welcome.
We're getting close
to it.
Pet Sematary premiered at South by Southwest this weekend, and apparently people enjoy it.
Yeah, loving word of mouth, loving it.
No word of mouth. Yeah, that's people who paid $2,000 to be there, and or somebody who was paid to be there. So
right.
I always compare first reactions to Clerks 2 at Cannes. Clerks 2, when it premiered at Cannes, had a 15-minute standing ovation. So
Wow.
Think about that for a second, and then
Right.
people maybe overreact on first screenings. But with that being said,
What's with all the hate on Pet Sematary, CP?
I'm not hating. I'm just tempering expectations.
Right.
I know.
Us at 100% cool. Us, the greatest horror film of all time.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Very,
I mean,
very
Hereditary
doubtful.
just came out. Like,
But
Yeah. Well, at the very least, 2019 looks pretty badass for horror as far as mainstream horror is concerned. It's really neat. If Us is half as good as it's getting credit for, that's something that we weren't even thinking about. Pet Sematary, if it's remotely not terrible, that's a big deal. Child's getting a major release going up against Toy Story 4. That's big.
oh, that's the same weekend?
Yeah.
What what?
What the flip?
Bravery. That is bravery.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that.
What?
And then It Chapter 2 comes out this year too.
So by the way, on Rotten Tomatoes, Us is at 100% with 58 reviews counted.
Three more good reviews. It was at 55 when I last checked.
Wow. That's crazy. What I know Get Out was at 100% until some asshat came along.
Well, people praised Get Out. Us, to me, looks... I mean, I don't even know how much better. 50% better, 60% better in my eyes. I mean, the
Looks
concept that looks better, looks way better. I just like the premise around the story.
If I go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was going to go over to Pet Sematary too, and that's a movie that wait and see. You know what I mean? It's like everybody's saying, you know, yeah, things look real good on this movie and all that, but I'm not so sure about that yet. So I have to see this movie first before I have any opinion on it.
This movie, what are you talking about?
Pet Sematary. No, Pet Sematary.
Yeah. You know, from what I've seen of trailers and stuff, which, you know, that's a different argument for what should be in that. I'll be interested to see how they execute that in the film.
Right. Yeah. A lot of interesting snippets that they've shown us already.
Why are there so many rabbits? Why are there so many rabbits? I can't stop thinking about the rabbits.
Anyways.
By the way, it was Armand White that gave Get Out its first bad review. It has 6 bad reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
Damn them.
Wait, who has 6?
Get Out.
Get Out has 6 rotten.
Really?
Yeah.
Just 6? Okay.
Only 6. Yeah.
A lone image was released this morning from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You know, nothing that big a deal. Just Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio leaning to opposite sides of the frame, a la How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
But I'm excited with just an image.
It looks good.
Clickbaity. So no. Get you excited.
I like the yellow car behind him.
I actually forgot DiCaprio was in this movie, so I just thought it was Brad Pitt, and sure enough, there's enough.
Okay.
Hello.
It looks like the Nice Guys in a way, which is interesting.
Luke in the chat says, "Once upon a time in Adobe Photoshop."
Right.
Yeah. Pitt's face looks like it's on a different body.
Yeah.
And poorly so at that.
Yeah, Brad Pitt doesn't really look like himself actually in this picture. It's kind of funny.
The dude was drunk when he put it out. Yeah, let's put this out.
I mean, Leo just looks like Leo, but Brad Pitt, like, maybe he's like thinned out. I don't know. He looks different than I'm used to seeing him.
Well,
Yeah.
he's getting up there, you know.
It's like the reverse of
saying.
Nice Guys. Instead of Kurt Russell Russell Crowe putting on all that weight, Brad Pitt lost a lot of weight.
What is the last piece of news I have on there, Dino?
That is it.
That is it. I thought it was 3.
Yeah,
James Gunn.
Before he done that.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So I don't think you said anything about Pet Sematary, Lindsay.
I am interested. I have never seen the original. The first,
Really?
Yeah. I'll try to check it out. Yeah, I know. I'm a bad person.
Ooh, don't do it. Don't watch the original. I'm curious to see what you would think seeing
Watching
this.
the new one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Watching
Yeah,
the
Your
new
little
one.
science project.
Yeah, just for the show. Okay, yeah, I'll just yeah.
Evil
I mean,
scientists.
I'm going to Vegas this weekend, so if I do see it, it'll be like the Monday before, like 2 hours before we just do the show today.
Wait, no, Pet Sematary comes out on the 5th.
Oh, it does? Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay,
Still a little time before Pet Sematary comes
Yeah,
out.
you'll be back.
It only premiered at South by Southwest.
Unless you end up in the
I
desert.
see what you're saying.
So, you know.
I see what you're saying. I misunderstood. But I mean, I love what's his name, the dad, or the guy from Third Rock from the Sun who was in Planet of the Apes. So I'll see pretty much anything he does. The first
John
trailer
Lithgow?
was good.
Oh,
John
yeah,
Lithgow.
yeah.
Yeah. The first trailer was good.
No.
There's a lot of atmosphere. There's a lot of interesting visuals. I'm interested. I'm very interested.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to hear it. Please don't watch the original before you see it. I'm dying to know what you would think of this.
I'll watch
Right.
Pet Cemetery 2, but I won't watch the
Oh.
first one. Then I'll go and watch this new one.
That might make it.
No.
That might be worse.
Yeah, you might say, screw this darn movie. But no.
So we're going to wrap up the first hour. If you're watching on YouTube, we have an after-hour show where we curse more, but you wouldn't know that by watching.
I have a potty mouth. I'm a bad boy.
Lindsay's going to tag out. And we're going to tag Peter in for the after-hour show.
We're a little bit more free form.
Yeah, we're gonna. Dino gave a little teaser to how he feels about things coming up, and we'll hear more from Dino about stuff like that. But Lindsay, any last thoughts before we leave you about the weekend coming up?
Wonder Park has just trapped my imagination. But about the weekend coming up, I don't even. What is
It's
coming
us.
up?
It's just us.
It's just us.
Yeah,
Nothing
pretty
else.
much.
Nothing else is coming out.
Nope.
Oh, what about Hotel Mumbai? Ramen shop. Come on, guys. Ramen
Well,
shop.
there's some movies on the list that you may be interested in, Lindsay, but, you know.
He's gonna watch Wonder Park ahead of everything else.
No, I can do a double feature of us in Wonder Park. It's gonna be the best night ever.
You better watch Wonder Park first.
And I will say, I will be seeing Us this week. So,
Yeah, Dino, that's the ticket.
yeah.
I'm very excited to see if I Got Five on It is very prevalent in the movie.
I got 5 on it. Yeah.
If it's just like that one shot from the trailer. But either
And
way,
then they remixed it too. They made it like a scary. Which
That's the
kudos
way
to
to do it.
them. Kudos to them for doing the horror, the trailer thing where they take they take a song and then they redo it all slow and piano-y. It's good to finally hear a hip hop song done like that. So
yeah, it really works too.
Yeah.
I wonder how long till we get like Hit 'Em Up or something like that?
Oh, jeez.
Lindsay, you have anything to plug before we go?
Just check out my channel. Check out my channel, My 2 Cents of Nonsense on YouTube. And if you disagree with me on anything, just hit me up on Twitter at Lindsay Pank.
Great, thank you. And for those of you who are with us in YouTube, we'll be back in just a brief second. We're just going to tag Lindsay out and tag Peter in, maybe
Cool.
P. And we'll.
You're gonna pee with Peter?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, take it easy, guys. See you next week.
See you, Lindsay.
Peace.